Good morning, students. Today we are going to start a new important topic, that is ray optics. In ray optics, we are having a weightage of 3 to 4 questions. So, please follow carefully. Optics. What is optics? It is a branch of physics which deals with the study of light. And here we know light. Light is an electromagnetic radiation, and the light which is having a wavelength region between 400 nanometers to 750 nanometers is called the visible light. So, we are going to study about various properties of visible light. And we know that there are so many properties for light, just like the first one, reflection, the second one, refraction, the third one, diffraction, the fourth one, interference, the fifth one, polarization, and the sixth one, dispersion of light. There are some properties like reflection, refraction, and dispersion of light, which can be explained based on an important property of light called rectilinear propagation of light. That is why such a branch of physics is called ray optics. And the remaining properties like diffraction, interference, polarization, etc. are explained by using another branch of light, that is wave optics. So, the optics is classified into two categories. Number one, ray optics, and number two, wave optics. The ray optics is also treated as geometrical optics. Geometrical optics. Now we are going to discuss about this concept of ray optics in detail. We know light travels from one point to another point, and say AB the point where the light is passing from, and B is another point. The light which is started from A is passed through B. See, this AB is a straight line which denotes the path of light. Such a path is called ray of light. The path traced by light when traveling from one point to another point is represented by a straight line, and such a straight line is called a light ray. And if such a light rays are several in number, just like this, such a constitution or combination of light rays which are traveling from one point to another point parallel to each other is called a light beam. Light beam. See, if you observe carefully, we are observing that wavelength of light is almost negligibly small, that is from 400 nanometers to 750 nanometers. If light is passing or falling on objects like some very high size compared to the wavelength, then this geometrical optics or ray optics is valid. If the object size is comparably small to that of wavelength of light, such a optics is called wave optics, that we will discuss later. So, rectilinear propagation is valid when the size of the object is greater than the wavelength of light. That means ray optics is valid when the size of the obstacle or object is comparatively larger than the wavelength of light. So here, what is light? It is an electromagnetic radiation. What is visible light? The wavelength region which is from 400 nanometers to 750 nanometers is called visible light. And light travels from one point to another point, and such a path traced by light which is in the form of a straight line is called light ray. Such a combination of light rays is called the light beam. And now I am going to discuss about the important properties of light one by one, starting from reflection. Reflection. We know in nature there are so many materials which allow light to pass through them and which do not allow light to pass through them, and some materials are there which absorb light also. In such a situation, the reflection phenomenon. What is reflection? See here, I am taking a glass slab. This glass slab allows light to pass through them, through it. Glass. See, this is the border which separates air from glass, so that here a light ray is passing through air and incident on this glass slab. This point where the light ray incidents is called point of incidence, and if you draw a perpendicular from this point of incidence to this border, this line is called normal. This light ray is incident ray, this is normal, and this is the point of incidence O. ON is normal. If you observe carefully, a part of light is refracted and a part of light is sent back into the same medium. See, the phenomenon of sending back the light ray into the same medium when it falls on the border separating two different media is called reflection. As we have already known that if light ray falls on any transparent medium, partially the light is refracted and partially the light is reflected. In this situation, if you observe carefully, reflection is the phenomenon when the light is incident, it is sent back into the same medium by the border separating the two different media. One more thing, in this concept we are going to discuss about only reflection and ignore this refraction phenomenon now at present. See here, this is incident ray, this is reflected ray, and this is normal. See here, if you observe carefully, the angle made by the incident ray with the normal is called angle of incidence, and the angle made by the reflected ray with the normal is called angle of reflection. See here, if you observe, angle of incidence must be equal to angle of reflection. This is first law. First law of reflection. Angle of incidence must be equal to angle of reflection. And the second law, if you observe, this is the plane of the board. Say my palm is in the plane. The incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal lie in the same plane. If you imagine this plane like this, if you turn this plane like this, what happens? You can see only one line. That means incident ray, reflected ray and normal will lie in the same plane. You cannot distinguish if the plane is held like this towards you, just like this. This is second most important law. Incident ray, normal and a reflected ray are lying in the same plane. Lying in the same plane. And the third most important law. See, if you select a vector, unit vector in the incident ray, that is I cap, and unit vector in the normal, that is n cap, and the unit vector in the reflected ray as r cap, then these are related as I cap cross n cap is equal to r cap cross n cap. This is very important law. Otherwise, if you take this unit vector as E1 cap and this unit vector as E2 cap and this is n cap, then you will get that E2 cap is equal to E1 cap minus 2 into E1 cap dot n cap into n cap. This is another form of factorial relation between the unit vectors of incident ray, reflected ray and the normal ray. And simultaneously, these reflections are of two types, namely regular reflection or specular reflection. The second one is diffused reflection. The second one is diffused reflection. What is regular reflection? See, if the reflecting surface is smooth, if it is a smooth plane, if you take a parallel beam of light incident on this smooth plane surface, the reflected rays also will be a parallel beam. Such a reflection is called regular reflection or specular reflection. If the reflecting surface is a rough or uneven, just like this, same parallel beam of light is made incident. As a result, the reflected rays, if you observe, this is reflected like this is reflected like this, and this is reflected like this. And after reflection, the reflected rays are traveling in different directions. Such a reflection is called diffused reflection. So far we have discussed about there are two types of reflections. Number one, regular or specular reflection. When it will be happen? It will be happen when a parallel beam of light is made incident on a smooth plane surface, just like this. The second type is diffused reflection. It happens whenever a parallel beam of light is made incident on a rough, uneven surface, the reflected rays are scattered in, reflected in, traveling in different directions after reflection. Such a reflection is called diffused reflection. See here, I am going to explain you some more cases in reflection. See, if the reflecting surface is a plane, the normal is drawn perpendicular to the plane. This is normal. If the reflecting surface is a curve just like this, if light is incident, then what happens? How can you draw this normal? First of all, at the point of instance to this curved surface, we have to draw a tangent. To that tangent, you have to draw a perpendicular. Now this will become normal. For example, if the curve is just like a convex, say if light ray is incident at this point, then what should you do? You have to draw a tangent to this at this point. From this point, you have to draw a perpendicular to this tangent, and this perpendicular behaves as normal to this curved surface. As you have already discussed that during reflection, if you observe carefully, this is border separating two media. A light ray is incident on this border. Light ray is sent back into the same medium. This is the point of incidence. This is the normal. ON is the normal. This is angle of incidence and this is angle of reflection. As we have already discussed that angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. See, this is incident ray, this is reflected ray. If there is no such a separation or border, the light ray might have gone like this. Because of this border, this light ray, instead of going like this, it is turned and passed like this. That means this light ray is deviated from its path. Such an angle between incident ray and the refracted ray is called angle of deviation, delta. If you observe carefully, this is a straight angle. That means I plus R plus delta is equal to 180 degrees. That means 2I plus delta is equal to 180 degrees. Therefore, in case of a reflection, the deviation that suffered by the incident ray is given by delta is equal to 180 minus 2I. Delta is equal to 180 minus 2I. In case of the value given in radians, then delta is equal to pi minus 2I. This is angle of deviation in case of reflection. You have to keep it in mind very carefully. Angle of deviation delta is equal to pi minus 2I. See here, if you observe carefully, if it is the reflecting surface, this is the normal. A light ray is passing along the normal incident ray. IR. As we have already known that in this case I is equal to 0, therefore R must be equal to 0. As a result, this light ray retraces its path. This is RR. In such a case, delta is equal to pi minus 2i, that is 2 into 0. This delta will be maximum. Delta maximum is equal to pi. See, for suffering maximum deviation, the light ray needs normal incidence. If you plot a graph between angle of deviation and angle of incidence, and it will be just like this. This is, say, if you take it as delta, and at the value of delta is maximum. Otherwise, if you take delta is maximum, where I is 0, and I is maximum where delta is 0. See this is delta and this is delta maximum. Where will be delta maximum? Where I is equal to 0. This is the graph between angle of deviation and angle of incidence. Keep it in mind. For maximum deviation, the incidence should be normal to along the normal or perpendicular to the plane of reflecting surface. Thank you.